Okay, observing the game, I'll just close that off. I'll try and play maybe a Dutch Stonewall or something. Or Leningrad, Dutch. I think Dutch Stonewall. How's he been doing? Up and down. So Dutch Stonewall. Given Aronian played the Stonewall structure in principle in one of his games, it's okay to play this, I think. He had lots of dark square weaknesses and got away with it. I suppose you could argue sometimes. So, but C3, how should I react to C3? Seems a bit passive. Get this bishop out classically to H5, zigzag, maybe. Now H6 looks as though that bishop could be in trouble. So I think H6, H4, knight H5. I think I'll see what happens. It stops knight G5 for E6 anyway. I'll just play this and so knight H5 is again tempting. I'll keep the knights on, just play bishop down these light square weaknesses. So bishop H5 and maybe knight E4, just try and extend the scope of this light squared bishop. It's a first mission, positional mission. I mean, taking this, so what, you know, you could get a clamp on E5. Unless G5, of course. Knight H5, Queen B7, Bishop C6, Queen C7. Just B6 here. Crude, but sort of protects itself. B5 if A4 I can just take. Queen B7, knight D7. Queen B7, actually knight C6. Is there something wrong with B5 here? Actually, I just want to get time for knight H5 and G5, because actually then there's F4, so I think I'm going to play this. While the bishop is still on E8, it's got access to both sides of the board. Knight H5 and G5 target this guy. Okay, I can't see that's threatening too much at the moment. And bishop D5 is not on, thankfully. Okay, otherwise king and rook. Okay, so G5 on the cards. Not knight F4. G5 is the invisible threat here. Does he spot it? Also knight F4 and bishop H4. He might play E3. It's possible. Sometimes this bishop's a problem even in Grandmaster games. Even in proper chess, serious chess, not just bunny chess. So, what is he doing here? Doesn't seem as though A4 or C4. Aha, he's spotted the issue. What about F4? Doesn't F4 weaken H4? It looks as though H4 is going to drop off. But can I do better? What about G5? If F3, knight G3. G5 looks to be better. For F4, knight moves F4. Maybe F4 immediately. F4 immediately, because otherwise the knight's going to move. I think this is Bronstein-ish. He played Dutch Stonewall quite a bit. I have to get back into that book. I haven't read it recently that much. So h4's under fire. There might be a problem with d5 though. What about c6 trying to shore up against bishop d5? Hang on, bishop h4, take. I'll take with the rook. If I take with the rook, keep an eye on d5. Do I really want to lose that bishop here? Probably because of queen g5, yes. Oh, e3, oh god. Now I'm getting in trouble. Okay, what about rook e5 as an exchange sack? If he plays knight d2, let's play rook e5, not what I intended. Slow down. That knight was a bit of a menace though anyway, so I don't mind getting rid of that knight particularly. His king side looks weak. Okay. So bishop e7 here, just in case I want to keep the rook. So if the knight moves, there's rook h4. Also there's bishop h5. That would have been good to pin the knight on f3. Again, I need to slow down. Could have just pinned that knight. This is terrible. Slow down. 11 minute 52. Okay, sink some time here. Right, rook h4 and then bishop h5. Rook h4, is there a problem? Knight f3, bishop h5. Queen f3 now is a problem. Right, there is bishop h5 if I want it. But the rook's still precarious, so what about just rook h5 now? Knight e5, maybe I can just sack, get rid of that pesky knight. Ideally, I think bishop d6, actually. Control e5, put pressure on h2. His king side safety is suspect here. So bishop d6 here. So knight e5 I can just take and then queen h4. I want to also play knight c6 just to challenge e5. Knight c6 is good just to get these pieces controlling centre. I think bishop d6 was a good move in principle anyway. So the question now is knight c6. Can I just not play knight c6 just to... I need the scurries as queen h4, so I'll play knight c6. It takes as queen h4 if knight e5, queen h4. So it takes knight e5 on the rook. The bishop's there, queen h4. Right, finally, I can get rid of that pesky knight. Which way shall I take with the bishop? I think I'll take with the bishop. I'm actually just winning a pawn if I want it. If I take with the knight after, I'm protecting that one. And still no bishop d5 hopefully. So knight e5 just winning a centre pawn. Reverberating rook. So queen h4 and queen h and rook h5. Okay, rook goes back now to h5 I think. f5 is undermining d5. I can't see anything stronger though. What about c6 just to reinforce d5? F takes queen d6. Hasn't gone for that. C6 now. Try and discourage F5. So now Queen F6 and Bishop G6, trying to get this bishop finally somewhere. Get the rook going as well, would be nice. This one, getting the rook over. I guess he was trying to parry Queen H4 there. Reasonable thing to do for Rook H3. Okay, I want to play maybe Queen F6, Bishop G6, Bishop F5, and the other rook here. Queen F6 here for F5, E5. Queen H4 is Rook H3, so I just want to get this bishop and rook going. I get Bishop G6 to E4. Okay, so E5 here, and there's, don't think there's a sack just yet. I'll play Bishop F7 to reinforce D5 again if the rook moves against Bishop D5. Also, there's a threat of E4. Maybe E4 anyway if rook moves to E4. Mind you, there's E4 here for him, Bishop F7. I'm having Bishop F7 here, just against this Bishop D5 threat. And get this rook going maybe to F8. Shore that up for a sec. So Rook F8, Queen H4, Rook H3. I think Rook F8 looks logical, keep things protected. Rook's not doing much on A8. Okay, that's protecting that. Don't think there's vulnerability. I could even play Queen H4 as Rook H3. Nope. Right, I think just Rook here for a moment. What about Rook G5? Simplify a bit. Rook G5. Doesn't matter so much about that, although this is what about taking there now? Because otherwise he's dismantling my queenside anyway. That doesn't look tempting. D4 because it takes an E5. So at the moment taking and taking here would seem to be a problem. If I take on A4, it takes on A6. Queen H4, Rook H3. Okay. Rook G5, take. Anything wrong with that? I've got central pawns. Maybe the rook belongs on B5 here to defend B5 in this position now. I'll put the rook back on B5, I think. Because I want to have time to be able to play E4 to shut out the bishop without my queenside dropping off. Hang on. There's Bishop D5. It's on this one here. There's a solution. Rook H4, Rook G5. He's got a tactical threat on Bishop D5. takes queen h5. Okay. This rook is a vulnerability. b5 is a vulnerability. Rook h4, rook g5 to simplify. I think I'm going to simplify these central pawns and stuff. I want to get rid of his defense around this king. I'm going to sack b5. In fact, isn't there bishop d5 just tying down the queen? Rook takes, queen takes, e takes, bishop d5, pin. Can't play this. So rook g5, queen g5, ed, bishop d5. No queen e5. It's tied down to that g2 bishop. Is he really going to do that? Is he really going to play ed? So ed and bishop d5 now. Queen c1. If I want to keep solid, I think e5 is the problem now. About d takes and bishop d5 to keep solid. Rook e5, queen e5. So, rook e8 still in this position. If I just play rook e8 for a moment. Also, those queen c1s are useful. Docking computer style forcing moves. So ed bishop d5. Actually, d4 is now on the cards, surely, because e5 is less tempting with rook there. Then there might be bishop c4 and d3. Okay, exchange of queens. Here is d5 is under fire. Shouldn't matter. Rook d8. Okay, I'll go for it. If he wants to exchange of queens, he's 2 pawns down. Get my king to e7 to protect the rook. Okay. And also rook d7s for rook a2. Okay, now I'm threatening d takes if he wants the rooks off. I'll use c6 on that bishop. Be vulnerable. I might just king d6 and rook a8. King d6, rook a2, he plays immediately. Rook a8 takes. King d6, rook a2. Actually, there's d4 check winning the rook. There's no rook a2. Good news. King d6. So I'm threatening actually rook infiltration with rook a8. And there's d4 winning the rook. Okay, 2-1, 7-3, climbing up there. Got 6 points for that. So, Dutch Stonewall, Bronstein style, sort of. Weakened Kingside. My rook was running around a lot. 2 pawns up. Slight problem with Queenside falling apart. Potentially. Had to factor in d5 and deflections there for that rook being protected. Ending not too hard. Comments or questions on YouTube? Thanks so much.